Hey, Church Online Summit, Steve Fogg here. Hope you're doing really well. And I wanted to bring in Stephanie, and I'm going to do that in a second. But before I bring Stephanie in, there's a phrase that we use in Australia where we big you up. And you know, I just want to give this shout out to Alta Live. One of the big questions that has kind of been reverberating in the last 6 months in the Church Online community is, how do we get more engagement? How do we, you know, outside of the little chat box that we all know and, you know, love at times, how do we get more engagement? So I feel like I've found something that helps answer some of the issues where, you know, we're taking people off to Zoom and on other third-party products, but I feel like I found the next evolution in Church Online. And if the Church Online platform and Zoom had a baby, this would be it. It's quite amazing, and I just want to bring Stephanie in now, just to tell us a little bit more, give us a bit of a guided tour of the platform, and you'll see why it will help your church deepen the engagement with those who are watching. So just bear with me. I hope I get this technology right. Stephanie,
Hi.
hello.
Wow. Well, I'm over here blushing off camera. That's very kind of you.
Well, hey, welcome to the Church Online Summit group. It's great to have you in the group. And you said you've been following all day, which is awesome. I'm on my second massive cup of coffee just for this morning. So I'm hoping the caffeine will kick in. And I know it's evening, just after 7 o'clock in your time, right?
Just after 7. I'm just outside of Boston, so the sun is just starting to set on our coast. But yeah, I've been following along all day, taking notes, filled up a few pages in my notebook. What a great day of speakers. I've been so impressed.
Yeah, it's been a good day, and you know, I've got some messages from people just saying how it's helped them, and it's, you know, that's really the big why of the summit is, hey, we want to get around people and help people, reach people, make more impact for Jesus in the digital space. And you know, we kind of connected a couple of weeks ago, and we actually connected after I watched a video in the Church Online, another Church Online group with you and Angela.
Yeah, and Craig.
Yeah, so and Angela's another speaker, amazing, absolutely amazing story that she has as well. And it's not often, Stephanie, that someone leaves me like jaw dropped. Like seriously, like as you and Angela were talking, you were kind of making my brain go bang. Like seriously, I was going, this is it. As you were taking Angela through the platform, I was going, this is the answer to all the issues people have been telling me about in the last year with the Church Online platform. As good as it is, and we love the team, they've done an amazing job. And you know, there are other platforms out there who are giving their resources away for free. But it feels like, you know, the big question everyone's really asking out there is, how do we leverage digital on one platform? How do we seamlessly and effortlessly move people from one space to another? How do we see each other rather than a little icon? Like that seems to be the big thing, right? You know, I see Pedro, and I don't know who Pedro is, and it's just a little icon in the chat. You know, and it's just really anonymous, and sometimes that's good, but most of the time, as church leaders, we want to be able to connect with people, see people, minister to people, pray with people when we can actually see them as well, rather than just chat. So tell us a little bit about your journey. Like, how did you get started with Alta Live?
Great questions. Yeah, so Altar is very much, I think I said this when I was chatting with Angela as well, started as very much us, me and some friends just outside of Boston, helping a local pastor try to get online. My background is in entrepreneurship and education. I've been an educator for a long time. And, helping a local pastor start to get online was like opening a can of worms. We had no idea what we were doing. And we were walking right alongside him trying to figure out, all right, we've gotten our broadcast online. We've gotten our streaming going, but we're lacking the thing that is the heartbeat of church, which is people. How do we have that two-way conversation? Those, conversations that happen organically in the hallway, the 15 minutes before and after church, the impromptu prayer, the time to minister to one another in personal ways. And most importantly, the opportunity to be not just heard, but seen. Really wrestling with some of those things with them. We started first by, pulling together this like Zoom contraption that we, built, and slowly but surely made our way into the video conference space to what is now Altar Live. So we've been working closely with church partners over the last few months, and we are officially out of beta.
Wow.
We've got our web and mobile apps are out the door.
Wow.
It's been very exciting. Our team's been working really hard on this. But we are excited to see the future of online ministry really take that next evolution, I think, as you've said, where we are bringing together the best of the tools that we've experienced over the pandemic and bringing them together into one solidified platform. So Altar is a video conference and live stream platform. I know we're going to take a look at it, but it's been a lot of fun to build.
Yeah, just before you came on, it's like I said, it's like Zoom and the Church Online platform got married and had a baby. And I love, and we're going to show it in a minute, but I love the UI, the user interface. It's just so neat. And, for all those people that can't figure tech out, it's just so seamless. And that's what I absolutely love about it. And the fact, what I love, the way you've approached it is that you've kind of started from scratch. It's kind of, you looked at it and gone, well, you've seen this and you've seen this, and we can take some bits out of it, but actually this is what we want to create. I think it was Steve Jobs that said, don't go into the market, do lots of market research, tell the market what you want. Or what they want. And that's how the iPhone was created. I feel like that's what you've done. You've created this incredible piece of software that I think is just going to make ministering to people online, it's going to take that argument out of, well, digital is substandard to physical. It's kind of really leveling that playing field up a lot. That's why I'm excited. Because one of the bits of feedback I get is, Steve, it's like watching a TV show, or it's like, Netflix. But actually, even with what the Church Online platform can do, and it's a good first step, but it can do more than that. But what I love about what you do is it's like this, like, hey, we can see each other, we can pray for each other, and we can see each other. I mean, that blows my mind. So, hey, if you want to share your screen and maybe just give everyone a quick tour, that'd be awesome.
So excited to. So let's make sure I get this technology right. But just like you said, Steve, the marriage of the two, we really wanted to start from scratch, thinking backwards. One of the funnest things about Altar has been designing from the technology standpoint, as well as from, just thinking about what does it mean to really build a community online. When we talk about engagement, which is this word, like you said, that is the thing we all are trying to pin down. What's that formula? And It's definitely not a formula, but we have learned over the course of the pandemic that there are things that that work and don't work. And one of the things we tried to do with Alta is really think beyond the algorithms of Facebooks and Instagrams and the social media platforms, and think about what makes church so meaningful in person. What are the best parts of that we can recapture online? And a lot of that is not just being able to consume content, but engage with people in an organic way, which is one of the reasons we brought video conferencing together with the live stream to be able to do both simultaneously. So I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to hop into an Alta event that's running right now. It's actually going to start in 3 minutes here. So welcome to Alta Live. I think Steve's going to throw it up here. Yeah. So we are a browser-based platform. I've just joined this event with a one-click link. All of the events in Alta are URL-based. And if you are familiar with the Church Online platform, very similarly, Alta links can be embedded on a website button. They can be shared on Facebook, over email, via text message. And all it takes is that one click of a link to join the event. We've joined here. You might recognize some of these, Steve.
Yeah, it's my church.
Yeah. So we'll pretend to be sitting on a church here.
Yeah. That's awesome.
We see a countdown timer. We see some pre-event slides. Some churches, a lot of the churches that are on the platform use these for announcements ahead of time. Now, some of the things we're going to see when we first join. Now, I've already logged in here. This platform recognized me right away. But to join an event, you don't have to have an account. Just like Church Online, you hit this link and you join as an anonymous user. We've tried to really balance on Alta the balance of accessibility and security, meaning you want everyone to be able to join. You want to maximize that engagement, but you also want it to remain secure for those that are using some of the more intimate parts of the platform. So let's get into it. Before this service actually kicks off here, I'm going to take us around some of the things we see. We see a general chat where we can see conversation happening. We can throw a message. Some of the things you already seen. Now, magic of Alta. What does it mean that we've married Zoom to the platform? So if I click here, select a seat to watch with others, what I'm going to see is some rows. I'm going to see some other people seated here. And I see my friend Andy here. Actually, Andy's one of my colleagues. Let's take a seat next to him. If I go ahead and click on this row, I am joining a video conference session with Andy. He's got his camera off right now. Maybe he'll hear us, and his mic off. But now we are not just, we're watching this countdown timer. The live event hasn't started yet, but I can be in a watch party with Andy.
This is amazing. This is absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah. Oh, Andy left my room. But I can now, think about all the things you can now do. Church becomes more than just, watching something privately, but engaging with other people who are online. A lot of the churches that use our platform have really reformatted some of the ways that they're engaging their online content. Instead of, a 40-minute sermon, there's, 3 minutes of talking and then a reflection question that goes on screen. And they ask people to hop in a row with each other, to pray with one another or reflect on questions together or say something about their day. Oh, we see the service is starting now. You saw it hit that 00 countdown timer and automatically started playing here. So we can watch and follow along. And again, this watch party that I've sat in is private to the people in my row. So you can have up to 4 currently in a watch party together. The capacity is going to expand. But in this watch party together, I can also move around. So if I want to go say hi to somebody else, I can easily go do that. One of the things that I love is if your church is a place where people have missed that, if you call it passing of the peace or time of saying hi to one another, where you just can't get them back in their seats because they love saying hi to one another, you can recreate something similar on Alta by playing musical chairs, essentially. So people can get up, move around, and sit with others as well. If people want to work by themselves, they can easily do that. The thing about the platform is you can engage as much as you want to. You're never on camera unless you choose to be. So you kind of watch from a distance as well.
Yeah. So you can digitally lurk, as I say. Yeah. But you can, because this is, I have to say it every week. Like I do our service leading online, and I just say, hey, don't be a digital lurker. Come and say hello in the comments. Like that's as good as it gets right now. But what you're saying is like, hey, we can actually see you sitting in a row, or hey, let's join a watch party together. And that's just awesome. That is just, I mean, that deepens engagement straight away. Like if you're a first time visitor, some might be nervous, but there's nothing better than knowing that someone cares for you and someone, hey, it's like being invited into a group of friends, you know, when you go out and, hey, it's a little bit awkward to begin with, but then you feel comfortable after a few minutes just hanging out with people. That's awesome.
Exactly. So, and we've really tried to bake in some of those, you know, experiences. Actually, the talk today on first impressions, I was taking a lot of notes and nodding my head along to a lot of it. That, you know, I think he said 7 minutes is how, you know, is when people kind of solidified their first impression of you as a church in person. And you could say the same online of, you know, this you know, people are watching and following to see, am I welcome in this space? Could I see myself returning to this week after week? Are there other people that want me here? So some of the things we've tried to do to that end. So if you've joined the event as an anonymous person, you're going to see immediately when you log in, welcome chat from the greeters. So you can create a hospitality team in Alta. These people have the ability to take the first step with those who come online to your online space. So every time someone joins, they're going to get an automatic message in their direct messages here. Andy was the greeter here. And they can also go beyond that to take initiative to go down this list and find anybody that they don't know and shoot them off a quick message so that they can, you know, they can invite them into the space. So you can now imagine, you know, all your online hosts not only are trying to populate that chat to get conversation going, but they're inviting people to sit down. Some of the things that I've seen people do that have been really great on Alta is, you know, have those designated floaters where they invite someone to sit down with them in a row, and then they say, hey, I really want to introduce you to this person. And then they go take them into a new row, introduce them there, and then say, all right, I'm going to go say hi to somebody else. And they do that matchmaking. The great thing you can imagine is if you've ever tried to do that on Zoom, it gets really hard because you're either in a room full of people all by yourself with a room full of people you don't know, or you've got your camera off and you're just lurking kind of in the corner. But Alta lets you, you know, start in those smaller groups without having to jump into a room full of people you don't know right away.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I mean, I'm straight away, like it's great for church. Like I'm looking at this going, wow, all of a sudden you just deepen the engagement for church. One of the key things we do at City on a Hill is Alpha. And last year we ran online Alpha. And one of the challenges we found, like we were putting them straight into Zoom and doing breakout rooms and all that sort of stuff. But what I love about this is that you can centralize the message. You can have people chatting and engaging and then going to breakouts with your mate, or you can watch with your mates. So you can see those who invited you. And that's what's really starting to solidify for me. You go much deeper, much faster across, and it can be a small event or a big event, really. It can be a midweek Bible study, really. Like that's what if I'm looking at a distributed model of church and you bring together 55 life groups, small groups, gospel communities, whatever people call it, together, and then they can break out into their own little groups as well on the same platform.
In the same, absolutely. And that really, we've tried to think beyond the Sunday service to all 6 days of the week. What does it mean to create community? And that's one of the beauties of online is when you are no longer limited to a physical space, you suddenly can gather people with a frequency in different creative ways than we sometimes can when we're limited to in person. So yes, we've had a lot of churches run their small groups on the platform, Bible studies, their conferences, gatherings. Youth group is a really fun one to see happen on the platform, where they bring people together. Which leads us to then the second part of the platform. So we're in the event state right now. So one of the things that we saw when we were starting to build Alta is this common thing. Join us for our service on YouTube, and then join us afterwards for Zoom for our virtual coffee hour. We thought, and my church does this, where they always have Zoom before and after the service. The thing is, there's a huge drop off right after the service. Just that one extra click can sometimes lose a lot of people. And so we thought, why can't we just bring those experiences together? So what we have on Alta here as a host, I'm a host in this event. What I can do is I can choose to move everyone to the lobby at any time during the event. I can also start in lobby state. So when I will see a countdown timer letting everybody know we're about to move. But when this moves, we now enter the lobby state. So think of the lobby like Zoom breakout rooms, but visualized and with the ability for people to freely move around themselves. So just like that pew view, you now have the ability to, like I said, those organic conversations that happen in the hallways, when you just want to have a quick chat with someone and say hi to someone, you can now do that. So I can sit at any one of these tables. I can sit down here and say hi to Linda, or I can leave. I can go sit at another table, say hi to other people. I can now freely choose where I want to go and see where people are seated.
That's amazing.
Or at a table itself. Some of the other things I can do, I can name tables. So a lot of churches will name tables for prayer or a welcome table. So I can designate how people might use different tables on screen, and people can fill this up to chat with each other. And just like in the event, you've got your chat, you can see who else is online, as well as some welcome messages from the host team there.
That's amazing. What I love about that is you said something key there, visualization. Mm-hmm. The challenge with the Zoom environment is that it's very you can't see. Yeah. There's a lack of visualization, and what I love about this is people will step in mm-hmm. when they can see through the glass. Mm-hmm. So one of the principles is that you can see those people and you can make a choice, but mm-hmm. you're much more likely to step in mm-hmm. Versus not being able to see. So one of the an architect I once spoke to, mm-hmm. we were talking about psychology and architecture mm-hmm. in churches. And he said, basically, if ever you have a sanctuary, you always want to make sure that you've got glass doors mm-hmm. because people are much less likely when they're guests to go through a door they can't see beyond. And it's a fascinating psychology. And this is what I feel like you've done here. Mm-hmm. You've made it much more inviting mm-hmm. for that guest to come along and say, hey, I want to be prayed for after the service. Yeah. I'm going to click on that prayer table. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right.
And exactly, and very much the philosophy behind what we were trying to do is help give people the freedom to engage again at their own pace, and to find those smaller conversations to be a part of outside of the bigger conversation as well. Especially for prayer, that's been one of the most exciting things to see on the platform. I think there's a Barna study actually that just came out recently saying the same thing. Yeah. 60% of regular churchgoers say they would go to a church online that offered prayer. And more interestingly, 20% of people from other faiths or non-faith backgrounds would go to an online church to get prayer. So that, being personally ministered to, or the ability to, again, just be seen and heard by a person or a few people, to have that meaningful connection, I think is what we are really craving and have been craving. And I think going forward in the, some of the things we've seen churches doing, I think that's so creative, going, even while churches are reopening, is really thinking about how to steward the relationships that have been cultivated during COVID seasons by not just, continue to put a live stream up online, but really engaging intentionally with those people, spending time together. And we've tried to create a space where people can gather.
That's amazing. That's so good. So let's just move. Let's say we're in a Sunday service, we've watched the service, we've moved to tables, and you've obviously got the full facility. So I'm assuming you've got the ability to say, okay, time's up, everybody, or just keep talking on your table, and you can finish when you can finish. Is that kind of that role?
Great questions. Yeah, so as a host, obviously I have this general chat where I can do some big communications to people. I let people know what's happening. I can direct message people as well. As a host up here, I've got some options as well. I can always move people back to the event. So one of the things that we've seen a lot of people do is they'll move people between the lobby and the event. So I was seated with Margaret and Scott in the lobby, and when a host moved us back to the event, I'm still seated with them, and I can vice versa move us back into the lobby. Now, you can start in either state. So a lot of services start in the lobby state as that pre-service show, and then move into the event, and back and forth as many times as you like. And then, as soon as you're ready to end the event, you can do that just by clicking here. It'll let everyone know they have a minute left on the event. It'll send notifications to everyone, and then it'll close out their event. Now, we also have, recurring events. So, your link is a static, you can have a static link, so you don't have to change it week after week. It'll redirect people to the next event when they click on that link. And one of the beauties is you can do synchronous events on the platform. So you're not limited to one event at a time. You can have as many overlapping events as you'd like. So a lot of churches, we have one church that has an English and a Spanish service that happen synchronously. So they have for their Spanish, one link for their English, and they can run them both simultaneously on the platform. We've seen the same for Bible studies, where they'll have, multiple Bible studies running at the same time, things like that.
That's got so much application. Again, I'm just really encouraged by that you can, it's not just one point of entry. You are effectively, what you're saying is that you can, you could have a sign language. Mm-hmm. Like literally, you could do all of that. Amazing. Yeah. That I didn't know about that you could have multiple events on at the same time. That's almost like a multi-campus digital church.
Exactly. Yeah. Think about it like your multiple campus digital church. And one of the things we didn't cover, but on the logistical side, Steve here, and I can leave this event. It's going to end here. But I'll leave this event to show you kind of on the back end here. When we actually create events, we can, you're going to go through a simple event creation process, but you just connect your stream feed here. So you can connect live videos, Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, Resi, Caster, or custom embed code if you're using something else, or pre-recorded videos. So we can connect both. If it's a pre-recorded video, we treat it like a simulated live experience. So we'll sync it up for everyone, no matter when they join in the event, and same with live. Again, that makes it easy for you to just connect in your content, set it up, run, and it'll automate itself all the way through.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you obviously, in terms of team, you've got like admin type functionalities for hosts and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So you can select, who you want to be hosts. You can add members to be a part of your greeting team. You can have as many greeters and hosts as you want. The difference between a host and a greeter: hosts can end the event, greeters can't. That just limits the amount of people who could maybe accidentally push the wrong button. But greeters, again, they have the ability to chat with your, first-time visitors, others like that, to make that welcoming experience. And then you can specify messages here too. You can also set viewing permissions. So one of the nice things is you can, most of your events are probably going to be a public event. Anyone clicks on that link, they can join. But maybe you have a church budget meeting, or a private meeting that you want members only, or selected members. You can select who you want to actually have access to the event to require login ahead of time, or if it's just a public event.
That's really interesting. So basically what you're saying is, my last church was a Baptist church, mm-hmm. and we have church business meetings where only members can attend. Mm-hmm. So that's got an incredible application, because with COVID, right, everyone wants to do online meetings. Yeah. They don't necessarily want to go out every night, but one of the challenges of where you've got a members only meeting is you've got to register and all that sort of stuff, and this feels like a amazing application to be able to kind of do that online virtual members meeting.
Yeah. And that's the goal. Really expand, customability on your side too, of what, how you want to control security and accessibility on the platform.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, if you've got questions about Alta on the platform, you can leave a comment in here. If you're watching this back, just leave a comment. We'll get back to you. But Stephanie, this has been mind-blowing to even just go back to it. Like the first time I saw it, my mind's just going into different places on where we can use this and get the most out of it. So you've come out of beta, you've got churches using the platform. Just give us one story out of that.
Yeah. Oh, so many. I think some of I'll actually say recently we just had a women's conference happen on the platform. It was a 2-day women's conference from St. Andrew's Church, and I actually joined for most of their sessions, got to meet some of the women, and one of the things that one of the quotes that I heard that really stuck with me was, I feel safe. I feel like I can join with other people and share meaningful conversation with them in a way that feels just like in person. And that to me was a really, really powerful, moment of realizing, wow, this is what the work of the church is making people feel like they can come just as they are and be a part of a community where they're known, they're seen, they're heard. That's the most important part of what we do. And so to be able to use video conference in that way has been a real honor. I think one of the other things we've seen that has just been fantastic is the ability to connect people who might not have actually connected when they met in person. We have one church that's been using our platform for about 2 months now, and we had some members come and tell us that they have been making friends with another couple that they had seen each other for years. 5 years they've both been going to this church, and they met for the first time on Altar because they said it was just so much easier to walk up to someone and introduce yourself. There wasn't, the scary body language. It was just, it was much easier to just bump shoulders and see things in our backgrounds that we had in common. They both had dogs and they bonded over that. And they've been meeting up regularly on Altar since then. So it's been great to see, even current members, become even more engaged.
You think about that, it's actually accelerated a meeting. It's actually flipped it. It's made it more accessible. Like, that's just incredible. Like, sometimes in reality, we don't go to see that person because they look like they're busy in a conversation with someone. But hey, I recognize them enough to at least say, knock, knock, hello, it's me. I'd not thought of that. That's really interesting.
It does. It's opened doors in some ways. And I think me too. I mean, I think it's the question everyone asks: can real community happen online? And before starting Altar, I would have said, I don't know. But some of the things I've seen since over the last year have just convinced me that there is something to online spaces that are so worth pursuing. It opens doors for people that we sometimes forget and leave behind in person, and sometimes connects peoples in ways that it takes longer in person. Alpha is a great example. And we're excited to see some Alpha groups get started on the platform as well.
That's great. I mean, look, the thing about Alpha is that it's a big commitment. The model is you go out, you have a meal, you go somewhere at night, and then you got to get home. So it's a complete night out if it's, but it's a big commitment for people. But really what this makes that and so many other meetings is that, hey, I can just hop online in my lounge room and I still get the face-to-face and the personal contact without having to plan a night out or go across a city or whatever. And I'm still with my friend because I can see my friend, and I'm with my friend. Yeah. So there's that relational connect there as well. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah, it's been so exciting. I think seeing people, this women's conference we just had on the platform recently, they said at the end, they're like, this is the first time they've done their conference online. And they said we couldn't get people off the platform at the end because people just were, wanting to connect with each other, not just over comments, not just in chat, but like to spend time together. And that I think is one of the things we're going to see going forward is how do we create real connections and moments between people?
Yeah, and I feel like this is you've and I love the way you've imagined this and created it. You have, I wish this was here last March, like seriously, if only.
I know.
If I feel like through COVID and all of the lockdowns, and here in Australia we've kind of had 3 and where we are significant lockdowns, and Church Online, whatever it's been on Facebook or whatever, has always been just a chat and a comment. But this would have been so helpful with that. But I realize for the rest of the world, you might be in lockdown where you're watching from. I know lots of places are still locked down. So this is an incredible way for you to reconnect with your church pastor. This is an incredible way for you to have that one-on-one time with a congregation that you just can't do in a chat. You just cannot do it in a chat.
Yeah.
Hey, Stephanie, I realize I've taken up 37 minutes of your time. It's amazing. I could keep talking forever because I think I'm so pleased that we connected. Just tell everyone, if you've just joined us, we've been talking about how to increase engagement on your church online. Go back and watch the whole thing again, and your mind will be blown like mine is right now. Where can we find you? Like addresses? We'll pop it in the chat, obviously.
Yeah, great question. Well, altarlive.com is where you can get started, but we'd love to meet you and chat with you. If you're a church right now watching, or if you know of a church leader who you think would be interested in getting started on Altar, we'd love to give you a product walkthrough. Happy to do that with you to talk about, your church, your unique needs, and how this might fit in with what you're already doing. We've really designed Altar to be a very little lift, really just to fit seamlessly into what you're already doing. So you can get started for free today as well. If you're somebody who likes to just jump in and get your hands on something, you can create an event and try out all the features we just saw today in under 5 minutes. You can get started on our website, get up and running, create a demo invite some friends, and start pushing all the buttons.
That is so cool, because literally you can jump on, test it. It's like driving a car, right? You want to drive the car before you actually say, yeah, this is great. You kind of know that it's great, but you just want to get behind the wheel, smell the leather, put the AC on. I love that. So we'll drop that link in the comment, or you'll drop that link in the comment, and go and test it. Go check it out. I highly encourage you to do that, because there's nothing like seeing it like we've shared it on the screen. But go back to the beginning of this, rewatch it, just watch Stephanie move through the platform, see how easy it is to move around. This is the thing I love about this platform. It's frictionless. Like, it's a term in digital ministry. Lack of friction equals more engagement. And this answers that question that everyone's been asking over the last 6 months, is how do we get more engagement on our platform? How do we get that personal ministry happening? Because we feel like we've been locked behind a glass screen for a year. So Stephanie, thanks so much for coming on. I'm so excited. It's been great for you to join us after the day 1 of the summit.
Oh yeah, well, thank you, Steve, for having us. We are so excited. to be learning right alongside churches. It is certainly, this past year of COVID, I've heard people say it's like going from, running a race to realizing it was a marathon to then realizing it was a triathlon. And we are, nearing hopefully the end of a triathlon, but entering into a whole new way of doing church. And I think, we want to be a tool right alongside churches, learning and growing as doors open online.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Take care.